Saludos fanáticas y fanáticas de Boxeo 24/7 y del boxeo en general. Espero que estén todos teniendo un lindo fin de semana. Feliz domingo a todos los que estén aquí pendientes, ¿verdad? Otra vez más. Estamos aquí entrevistando al talento de boxeo. Déjenme ver. Mi gente, me llamo entonces, regamos la voz, ok, denle share a la entrevista, me dejan saber las preguntas que tengan para nuestro invitado, siempre y cuando sean de boxeo y con respeto, vamos a hacérselas. Y queremos también darle las gracias a nuestros seguidores. Queremos empezar también, perdón, con nuestros auspiciadores. Queremos empezar con Tanis Diamond Boutique, los mejores en prendas y accesorios, una joyería 100% digital. Usted quiere una pieza, usted entra a la página Tanis Diamond Boutique en Facebook o en Instagram. Digan mío, la quiero, es para mí, mi gente. Precio muy barato y buena calidad de prenda, ok, ya saben. Tanis Diamond Boutique, no hay nada que buscar. Y si usted quiere una fiesta que se le dé bien organizada, quiere una canasta, y actividad como boda, bar mitzvah, quinceañero, ni eso lo que usted quiera, no hay manera que buscar. Details and More Flores son los mejores. Solamente tienen página de Instagram, pero ella con mucho gusto los atiende y los ayuda y las tiene esa edad de show, ¿ok? Bueno, gente, como ya mencioné, me disculpo, el domingo pasado no pudimos tener programa. Pero cosas que no están en nuestras manos, pero son cosas que pasan. Pero hoy tenemos a una invitada, una prospecto de boxeo que también es matchmaker y promotora. Mi gente, nada más y nada menos que Suzzane. Espérese. Suzzane Rodriguez. How you doing, Suzanne? How you doing?
I'm good. How are y'all doing?
I'm good. I'm good. First of all, I want to thank you for accepting the invite and committing to your word of being here. That's something that we, as programmers, we actually appreciate that you saying yes and also committing to your word and being on here live. Thank you.
Yeah, yes. Thank you for having me.
Well, Susanna, like we do every single guest that we have on the show. First of all, at what age and how do you fell in love with boxing?
I started boxing actually the summer after my freshman year in college. I tried boxing out. I wanted to do it my freshman year, but I had a boyfriend at the time who said, "Don't do it. It's not good for you. You know, everything bad under the sun." I broke up with the boyfriend, y luego I went to the boxing gym, and I liked it. I think I was 19 years old when I started boxing, which is technically old for most boxers, pero for like the women, that's about the average age that we start boxing.
Okay. Well, I'm 30 years old, so still I'm also young to do it, huh?
Mhm.
I want to tell you that we're never old to try something out. If you like it and you're good at it, then why not try it?
Yeah, you never know what you're good at until you try it out.
Exactly. So, Suzanne, I would like to for you to give me like a little story of your boxing in the amateur level.
I did amateur boxing for almost 20 years. And I had a couple of moments porque durante ese tiempo I started right in college. And then eventually I got married and I had kids and I took a break and I only coached. And then I went back to compete in the amateurs. Most of my fights I ended up going into the national levels. Once you get, you eat as much as you can locally and then you got to go nationally. And then once you go national, you really can't go backwards because nobody wants to fight you. So you just got to keep going forward. I won a lot of national titles and gold medalists back when women had their own Golden Gloves. I won that. I don't remember what year, maybe 2009. Won the second place almost 7 times in the national tournaments y luego también in the national Golden Glove tournaments when they started to become, men and women fought together or in the same show. co-ed, I guess. And so that's kind of the gist of my amateur background. For almost 20 years, I competed.
Okay. So, well, and also the Golden Gloves, I think it's like the word title for professional boxing, right?
Mande, tell me again.
Golden Gloves is like the professional. It's like well, it's like the amateur Las Vegas for pro boxers, right?
Yeah, so Golden Gloves is more like pro style boxing in the sense that in Golden Gloves, they're looking for the aggressive person, the ring generalship, the person who's pressuring, has the IQ level, different than national boxing tournaments that you see where they want the boxer. They want you to be in and out. They don't really want you to sit down on punches. So Golden Gloves falls within USA Boxing, but they kind of have different focuses. And a lot of fighters don't
Okay.
do that.
Okay, yeah. Well, I've been 20 years studying boxing and also being a corner man for like 3 years, and every day I learn something new. So thank you for clearing that out. It's something that I didn't know. Now I know more. Thank you.
Yeah.
And so, how was the offer? How was the approachment to Susanna for her jumping from amateur boxing to pro boxing?
Yeah, so I turned pro last year, actually. I tried to go pro around COVID, around that COVID timeframe of 2020, and then things were shutting down, right? And the doors just weren't opening up. So I continued in amateur division, placed a couple more second places in nationals, and again, nobody was opening the doors for that. All the accolades, I'm still a woman, so it was hard for somebody to give me that platform. And so I decided to create my own promotion company, La Jefa Promotions out of Indianapolis, Indiana. I started that company for an opportunity for not only myself, but other women who found themselves in the same position that they could not fight on a professional level because they didn't have those accessible doors. So I started my own promotion company and I run the show and I decide where it's going to happen and when it's going to happen and allow other people. So if nobody's helping you out, set it up yourself.
Yeah, just like myself. Nobody wanted to work with me in my own podcast, so now I have my own podcast and I do whatever I want. And I interview whoever I want. Nobody has to tell me what to do, what not to do. I'm the boss. I run the show, so it's my thing actually.
Yeah, there it is.
And so everybody watching the program, you don't have to. If no one wants to work with you, just start out yourself, and you don't know what's gonna come after that.
Yes.
So when you made your debut May 11th, 2024 against Helen Lucero, were you nervous? Were you excited? Were you confident in your skills? Or how was that night for you?
My pro debut, I was nervous. Yeah, I think at all fights you get a little bit of nervousness, right? Um, and then depending on how your calibration of your confidence comes out, then you're kind of able to shake it off. My debut, though, I was nervous. I was excited more than I was nervous. Um, I don't fight people who are just easy breezy. The girl was a nice opponent. Um, some people said it was a little harder than I ought to have done for my pro debut, pero como quiera, we still won. We got it in. It was a great platform. I had a lot of other local fighters that fought on that card as well. And so, yeah, it was a great show.
Okay, and you won by decision. It was something that you had on your you were planning on doing all 4 rounds, or were you planning to enter before?
I wanted to go all four because as a pro, you got to pay for your opponents, and so I want to get all my money out of that time frame, right? So we went 4 rounds, and also I want to give the people a performance. I want to give you a show that you came for, and not into my
Okay.
other rounds of my other fights did I want to hurry up and knock it out and be done with it. But with the first one, I wanted all 4 rounds to see who I am as a professional fighter because it's a different kind of skill set. Not a skill set, but it's a different kind of game, right? You got to be more patient. You can't just hurry up and go like amateurs.
Okay. And then your second debut, it wasn't your show. You were actually featured in other cards. So maybe your first fight you did it so good that they want to actually pay you now for being on the show. So you fought your second fight in your second fight, I think it was in June, I think, of that same year. I think it was against another a person that was gonna make her debut, and you won by TKO in the second round. Was that something you had in you? You thought you were you planning on ending that fight at and that level? You know, you wanted to impress the promoter.
Maybe impress the promoter a bit. The promoter was actually at one point in time the promoter for my coach at that time, like in his younger days, right? So it was kind of another building block into the career. But I also wanted to end it fast because the girl came in overweight. She came in 13 pounds over our weight limit of what we agreed on.
Oh
And
my God.
so, I'm not going to sit around and hang out with somebody who's that much heavier than me. I got to hurry up and get it in and get it out so I can move on. And that was, for that fight, I did want to end it fast.
Yeah, those boxers are. I hate that because they're irresponsible. I mean, you agree one way. Why are you overweight? Come on, what's the deal with that?
Yeah.
And it also creates a disadvantage for the other boxers who actually are in the weight. Actually,
Yes. A lot of the times well, now this is my sixth fight I just had. A lot of the professionals are not as professional as they ought to be. Those are lessons you learn as an amateur when you fight at national levels. You cannot be 1 pound over. If you fight at 145, you better be 145. You can't be 145.7. You got to cut that .7 before you get on the scale. And so, again, not all professionals are truly professional.
yeah. And then your third fight, you fought an opponent that had over 50 fights, maybe say more than 60 fights as a professional, which means they have more experience. And you were in a card that also they fought the great Johnny Morrison and Joel Mutombo, both great guys. I worked with them before. They're really good guys. How you felt being in that kind of card? What was your card? But you always have a good eye for talent. I can see, and you fought a person that was way more experienced than you at the time. How could you adjust yourself? How was your preparation or in your training so you could overcome that kind of fights?
Yeah, that fight was my first 6 round fight. And I appreciated that. You don't know where you are until you take a step higher than where you were, right? And that's a challenge that a lot of people don't want to take on. I'm very thankful I was able to do that. That was the Brazilian that we found, and we were able to bring her in very close to the cutoff time frame. Um, After the fourth round, or maybe it was after the fifth round, I'm like, "Wale!" I didn't feel like I thought I was a little bit more prepared, and I had to grind for that last round and a half. It definitely challenged me at that time. I learned a lesson. Even though I won, I learned that my conditioning had to turn up a notch. And I feel like my conditioning is on point, so is my strength. But there's always room for improvement. And so that 6 round fight told me you got to bump it up a notch. And I did, and I have.
Okay. Then after that fight, if you want to skip this subject, we can just do it. I don't care. You fought that same year on November. You fought Stevie Jane Coleman, and that was your first defeat as a pro. If you want to skip it, we can do it. I don't care. And that was your first. Okay, so walk through us to that entire experience.
That was my first time fighting in somebody else's backyard. All right. And that's another challenge. So that was now my second one. The first one was taking somebody 6 rounds, a well experienced seasoned fighter. Y luego en esta, I went to somebody else's backyard. So you already know if you fight somebody in their hometown, you better demolish them if you hope to win. That first round, her head swelled up so bad from a collision or a punch. I don't know which way which. The doctor almost ended it, but it's from her hometown. he did not end it. They continued on, and I lost by decision. I don't recall what the points were. I don't believe it was that far of a gap. But I appreciate, let me say, the opportunity that was presented to me to take on that fight. I appreciated it more, not as a fighter, but as a promoter. For me, it showed me a foresight in where I plan to move my promotion company. That individual, that promoter, has had more than 20 years experience in the fight game. So a lot of respect and a lot of praise and honor to the fact that he was able to calibrate his promotion company in that level. It gives me something to look forward to and to push myself forward on. As a fighter, you learn from your wins and you learn from your L's. And in that, I learned from the L, I reset, and I came back for the next one.
Yeah,
I
actually,
did.
that's something very important you just mentioned because I tell to my fighters, an L is not a loss. It's just an experience. It's just a little mistake in your career, but the mistakes are there, so you, in the future you don't repeat them. That's actually not losses, lessons for life. That's it. That's actually okay. Mima over here says that she likes your background. Mima, thank you for being here. Also, okay, Suzanne. Last night you had a fight. I know you're tired. You just had a hell of a fight. You just went to a fight. So we actually appreciate you being here after a night of fighting. I guess Nadia Moreno walked through us for that fight.
I knew I was coming in and I was going to win. I had a different game plan for this one, more patience, a little more control, not coming in like a dog coming out of the cage, but more patience behind it. And as the rounds progressed, my coach said, okay, now turn it up a little bit more. Every round he told me, and I followed the suit of what I was instructed to do. Um, she is from Tejas también. I'm from Texas. She's from Texas. I'm from Dallas, from Grand Prairie. So we say Texas is Dallas and anything else is whatever. Or my family's down from the valley. So those two places count in Texas and everything else is just, a spot. I knew she was going to come in with something. You have two Latinas fighting. You're going to get some good work out of it. I appreciated her taking on the challenge to take me as her debut, and I wish her good luck in the future of her career. But yes, I knew I was going to win. I worked on my mindset for this fight, not just my conditioning and my strength. So I was confident.
Okay, okay, and you won by decision.
Yes.
Good, good, good. Nice. Yeah, Latinos, they're always good fighting. I'm from Puerto Rico. I was born and raised there for 26 years, but currently I live in Orlando, so it's kind of another Puerto Rico for me. This or being in Orlando actually.
I believe that.
So, so Susanna, you have another fight already scheduled for next month against give something that I respect from you a lot, that you, even though you are still new in the boxing game, your opponent is 5-2-2, and you always pick fighters that are making their pro debut, undefeated, a lot of experience. But your next fight, if my mind doesn't is in the right place, you're fighting her, is going to be your first bout, 8 rounds. How you been preparing for 8 rounds this time?
Remember how I told you I fought for the 6 rounds? And I was like,
Yeah.
shoot, do more. I've been training since that 6 round fight, preparation for 10 rounds. So my fight last night was only 4. It was nothing. We were just getting warmed up. 6 rounds, I'll be ready for it. And 8, I'm even stronger. So I've sparred with that girl, I don't know, maybe 5, 6 years ago. I know what she looks like. I know where I am. I know what she's got. She's very active on social media. I'm confident in what I'm bringing to the table.
Okay, okay. It's going to be a great event. So now that I'm interested in watching that Can you tell everyone that doesn't live around, how can we get tickets or how can we see the game online? I mean, the fight online or something like that?
I can tell you that the fight is going to be at Cicero Stadium in Chicago, kind of close to O'Hare Airport. I believe it is going to be live streamed, but that is not my promotion company. So I don't know all of the details on how they're going to live stream it and on what features it'll be available. I can't answer that question for you.
Okay. Well, Suzanne, what I actually like, they said that you also making matchmaking. I'm doing matchmaking as well. Maybe we can work something out in the future. And we also, since you accepted the invite and you were here, I expect this won't be the last time you are on our show. If you ever want to make another interview, talk about another subject, just hit us up and we'll give you the space like we do with all our guests on the show.
All right, that sounds like a plan. Sounds great.
Okay, Susanna, I want to thank you again. I see that you actually weren't joking when you said Spanglish. Thank you.
Yeah, right.
So,
Right.
okay. Well, Susanna, again, thank you. God bless, and I hope nothing but the best for you in the future. People, women's boxing is also something really good. So please, let's give the women also really good support because they are also in this sport that we love so much, which is boxing. Okay, let's give all the women all the support we can give, and same as the men. Okay, this is a unisex sport, so people, please. Let's give Susanna and every other woman the same respect and appreciation for every single sports people that gets on this show. Well, Susanna, again, thank you very much and God bless.
All right. Thank you guys.